If you pack your suitcase for Iceland thinking about what the temperature is, you're gonna get it wrong. You need to pack according to wind, rain, sun, and 10-degree swings all in one day. So let me show you the best way to pack. Packing and dressing for Iceland means 3 core layers. Base layer for moisture wicking close to your body, mid layer for insulating, and outer layer for element resistance. So for your base layer, I mean a nice high quality merino wool top and bottom. This is Smart Wool brand. I'll link everything that I talk about in the description. A base layer stays close to your body, helps moisture wick away, and regulates the body temperature. The base layer that I have on the bottom, I have a pair of merino wool bottoms, but this is another example. This is a fleece lined legging, which can also be a really nice option. Merino wool is so good because even when it gets wet, you're still going to stay warm. A couple of key things that you want to know with the base layer is that it should be snug against your body and absolutely not to cotton. I have a couple of yays and a couple of nays for an insulating layer. The first one is my tried and true go-to favorite piece of clothing that I own, and that is my Icelandic sweater, the Lopapeysa. This is made with 100% Icelandic wool, and it is so warm. Icelandic wool is amazing in that it's water resistant, and so even if it's sprinkling rain, it's not gonna hold on to that wetness throughout the day. And somehow it's magically non-stinky. Another great option if you don't want to invest in a wool sweater or you want to look around while you're here is to bring a fleece. Fleece is obviously super warm, super insulating, easy to source. This is another great option. Another one that I often do is like a down-filled vest or a down-filled puffer jacket. That's a great option as well, as long as it's not heavily synthetic and it will actually insulate and keep you warm. Couple of no's for the insulating mid layer. First, a hooded cotton sweatshirt. This will truly not add anything in terms of actual warmth to your body. If it gets wet, like it's not gonna help you for the rest of the day. It's gonna get super stinky. They're not that warm. I would just like spend $20 to $50 on a fleece and be done with it. Another no, cheap sweaters. I love to wear this during the day or if I'm going out for dinner, but it's bulky for no reason. It doesn't add a lot of warmth. It's made of synthetic fibers. Polyester, no, this is a no-go. This again, it's going to trap heat. It's not gonna feel good as your intermediate layer. Even if it's cute, I don't recommend synthetic bulky sweaters. All right, so we're getting dressed to go outside, right? So I'm gonna add my Lopapeysa. Next, we're gonna talk about outer layers. Now I feel like I'm ready to take on Iceland. It is the go-to Genie red jacket. This thing is a workhorse. Let me tell you why. This is the most important layer for Iceland. Not because it's cold outside, because it's wet. I have an entire video on waterproof versus water resistant, so check that out for the exact explanation of why I would recommend a shell versus a raincoat. Outerwear jackets all have the ability to be waterproof up to a certain millimeter of water. So it just depends on the fabric, the quality of the brand, all of that kind of thing. But this is going to help me with wind and water protection. The other thing that is, in my opinion, essential for an outer layer is a hood like this. If you thought you were gonna hop out the car quick and then all of a sudden it starts raining, you're walking from your car to the restaurant, you have protection. This comes in handy all the time. Or if a crazy windstorm picks up and your hat just isn't cutting it, I would also recommend for the outer layer something that's breathable and not a rain jacket as your main outer layer. And here's why. Yes, rain jackets are super helpful in keeping heavy rain, waterfall spray off of your body. 100% waterproof. There are certain cases that are super important to have that, but it's not gonna be breathable. So you are not gonna wanna wear a rain jacket all day long. The other piece of a durable outerwear is going to be a water resistant hiking pant. I forgot to bring that with me, so we're not gonna put those on today, but it's pretty explanatory. A hiking pant, not rain pants, again, because you need them to breathe, but that extra layer of hiking pant is going to be water resistant and wind resistant, so it's breathable, but you're adding an extra layer of warmth and protection. Okay, so what if you're coming in the middle of winter and it's going to be dark, snowy, windy, stormy, all of the things? Don't bring this. This is not going to be enough, okay? Here's what you're going to bring instead. Okay, this is my go-to absolute best parka award. This is an Icelandic brand, so this is probably not going to be something you're bringing to Iceland, but think along the line Canada Goose down-filled parka. So this is wind proof, water resistant up to a point, but definitely handling the Icelandic elements, especially in winter. I love this thing. I love it so much. The other feature of this parka that is the best is the hood, obviously. And this hood is extra excessive, I think, because it really like goes in front of my face, not just around my head. It goes in front of my face. Like you can't see. I'm protected. So again, this is the best. Parkas are nice because they go down lower, right? So they're covering more of your body, and this is really nice to have. So if you're coming in the winter, and for that I mean November through March, bring something like this, okay? Again, another factor for the outerwear would be something on top of your fleece line leggings or wool base layer, and that could be a hiking pant still, or it can be a snow pant. And also, let me say at this point, if you don't own any of these items and you're like, God, I can't go to Iceland, I'm not gonna spend $1,000 on all of this gear that I need just to stay dry and warm, you can rent outerwear from a company called Iceland Cover. They're amazing. You can pre-order what you need online and just pick it up when you arrive, or you can stop in their store when you arrive and try on what you need, and they could actually recommend gear based on where you're going or what activities you're doing. So keep that in mind, because truly, if you're coming from a hot weather place and you're gonna be in the elements, but you don't wanna invest in the gear that you might not wear again, just rent. And you can actually get a discount if you book with my code, and I'll leave all that information in the description below. Last thing I'll say about the outerwear layer, what not to wear. Ready? A big poofy coat. That's not water resistant and not realistic. So let's look a little closer at this coat and why. Honestly, no hate to this coat, because I own this coat and I actually love it and I wear it a lot, but I only wear it on days where it's not super rainy or I'm not walking behind a waterfall. It wasn't windproof enough. It kind of feels like wind would just go through this thing, and then anytime it started raining, it would just get wet, take a while to dry, didn't feel warm, wasn't good enough. The other thing this thing doesn't have is a hood, which, what's the point? So for me, this is a no-go if we're going out and exploring. I'm always going to pick one of the other options that I've tried on for other outerwear before I choose this one. That is the 3 layering system, but at this point we are not done because we haven't put on footwear and headwear. For head layers, a couple different options, but let's try not to overcomplicate it. So headband or hat. Even better if you can bring 2 of both, because options are better if one gets wet or something. The wind blows it away. Wear a tight fitted hat. I've seen a lot of hats that have like a poofy ball on it. I've seen hats that are like slouchy and really cool looking. It's gonna get blown off. The wind is gonna cut through it, or it's gonna get wet, or both. So something that's tight to the head. I like to wear a headband in more of the summer months. And then let's not forget gloves. These are like a neoprene material, fleece lined with a touchscreen tip. I talk a lot about these in other videos, and they're my absolute go-to just for kind of like in and out of the car sightseeing stuff, using my phone, handling my camera, things like that. Again, critical that you have 2 pair for your hands. Probably the most critical thing to have 2 pair of, because you do not want your fingers to get cold. And then if you don't want to wear gloves, bring mittens. The last piece of the equation, and by far not the least, is footwear. And again, I have an entire video on footwear and the 5 different pieces of footwear that you could consider bringing in your suitcase. But for the purposes of this video, we're getting dressed to go outside. So I want to tell you my absolute go-to is a hiking boot or a hiking shoe. So one of these options is something that I'm going to wear almost every time that we're going anywhere. If you have to pick only one, I would pick the hiking boot. I think it's the most versatile for whatever it is that you're gonna do, be it just waterfall sightseeing or hiking on a glacier. You want to have something with a good outsole grip and something with good ankle support and something that is, again, you guessed it, waterproof. So these hiking shoes are really nice for kind of a lot of in and out of the car, light sightseeing. But they are not the best for water resistant, so I don't always wear these. So a lot of people will ask me about snow boots. I would never wear these if we're exploring around Iceland. I just wouldn't. These are super heavy. Yes, they have great grip. Yes, they're waterproof. Yes, they come up high. They're super warm. I don't want to wear this when I am hiking around. I do not want to wear this on a glacier. I do not want to wear this exploring. And the reason for that is it's so heavy. It's noticeably heavier than these hiking boots. So again, if you're coming during the depths of winter, meaning it's cold, it's dark, it's icy, it's snowy, yes, you can absolutely get away with wearing hiking boots during your trip. So the black parka that I had, all of these things, and hiking boots is a fine uniform. So in conclusion, there are good things and bad things to pack for Iceland, but if you know how layering works and you're packing smart, then you're not overpacking, you're staying warm, you're staying dry. It's a win-win-win. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, happy planning.